Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. It is not November. It is September 25th. You guys, I could go back to bed and it would be fine, but we're going to have a great show today. We've got an amazing co-host with you for us today. Olivia Ambani is back. We're going to talk about joy and beauty and aging and so much more. So let's get started with an all new episode right now. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. It is Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. See, this is what happens when I'm working on my calendar before the show. I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing that then I come on and I don't know what day it is, but I'm glad to be here with you today for another episode. It's going to be a great show. We've got lots happening. So let's talk about it now in the morning brew. Head over to that comment section and let us know what is bringing you joy today. And of course, where you're joining us from this morning. We love to hear from you. What's bringing me joy today? I had some fresh apple cider just now before the show, straight from Clyde Cider Mill in I guess it's considered Stonington or Mystic. Either way, it's over there. That's how I know that it's the best time of year when Clyde's is open. It's my favorite. And right when they first open, they don't have the hot cider, but the hot cider is ready. So I went by there yesterday and got a nice hot cup of cider and then brought home a gallon. So that's how I got to partake in some delicious cider this morning. So that is bringing me a lot of joy today. Also, we had a great episode of Beyond 2D last night with Ferran Dozier. And I will say this time and time again, Ferran is the best co-host I have ever had on like as far as a full show. And every week it feels like such a safe space to me. And so it's nice to be able to have that environment where you can just be who you are and not ever be scared or afraid to talk about something that you really want to talk about. And so I want to give a big thank you to my co-host for Beyond 2D, Ferran Dozier, for being that person that for both of us. And sometimes sharing, it's a frustrating thing, it's a very bittersweet feeling when you choose topics for your show that just happen to apply to you in your own life. We choose these topics, and then the universe, however you want to look at it, allows those things to show up in our lives to practice. So that's always a good time. So thank you, Ferran, for a great show last night. Make sure you guys tune in. We had been talking about resilience. We made the executive decision last night for the final two of this series to switch from the word resilience to perseverance. I think both of us enjoy that word a lot more after examining resilience for the first two episodes. So I encourage you to tune in a couple of Tuesdays and check out the next in the series. We only got like 3 episodes left before the end of the year anyway. And then we're going to be on to season 3 next year. So definitely tune into that. Let's head over to the comments really quickly and see who's joining us today. Miss Brittany's in that VIP seat. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, Teresa. Good to see you. Good morning, Nancy. Bringing me joy today is hanging out with all my besties and watching Project Joy. Yes, we are so glad that you're here. You can feel that energy in the show. Brittany said, it is truly amazing. 100%. I feel it too when I sit down, and I feel better at the end. Brittany said, it's good when you want to cry that you missed it live. Brittany fell asleep yesterday. We did the show, and I get this text message after the show ends. Oh my God, I slept through it. And she was so upset. So listen, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Set an alarm. Set an alarm. Hit the bell button if you're on the YouTube. Hit the bell button so you don't miss the notifications when the shows come on. Not that that would wake Brittany up. It would take a boulder to wake Brittany up. But I'm so glad you guys are here today. We've got one of my favorite people on the planet Earth is here to co-host with me today. So we are just going to skip right to it, and we'll celebrate today with her, and also be talking about the beauty of aging and all of that. We're going to pause because she's disappeared behind the scenes, but I know she'll be back. So let's celebrate today really quick, and then we'll welcome Olivia on. All right. So in the celebrating today, there's a couple things. It's National Daughters Day today, and I have 4 beautiful, amazing daughters, ranging in age from 8 to 17, and daughters are fun time. They, they really are. And so happy National Daughters Day to Nina, Margine, Jaslyn, and Leah. I love you so much. It is also National Open the Magic Day. I love this. I had never heard of it before, but it celebrates teachers and parents who read books aloud to their children. Read aloud picture books, pop-up books, all of those amazing things. And today we're supposed to celebrate those people that encouraged us to read at a very young age. And so I want to give two shout outs here. One, my teen librarian from the time that I was very young. She was actually teen librarian for like one of the first, I think, or she may have been the first in the state of Connecticut. And so Ann Campbell from the Groton Public Library, thank you so much for being such an example to me, and encouraging me to read. And also she's the one that introduced me to the Anne of Green Gables books, which I won't ever forget that. And so sending you love today. And also Mr. Beverly, who was one of my teachers in middle school. And he encouraged me to love Dr. Seuss. And when I graduated middle school, graduated the 8th grade, he gave me a copy of Dr. Seuss's book, Oh, the Places You'll Go. And I'm just so thankful. So those are the 2 people that I want to shout out today, Ann Campbell and Mr. Dean Beverly. I appreciate both of you in the early years of my life, and helping me to love reading for the first time, because I really didn't love reading. I really didn't. But they helped me to encourage me to read things that I love to read. And so that set me on a good path. So those are a couple of the national days today. It's also like quesadilla day or something. So go eat a quesadilla if you'd like to do that. All of that said, one of my favorite people, as I mentioned, is here to co-host with me today, and I want to bring her on the screen. She is a singer. She is the marketer. She has her hands in a lot of things. And so I appreciate that about her, because I do too. And we have that in common. Please put your hands together and virtually welcome my friend back to the show, Olivia Ambani.
It's gonna be all right. Better than just fine.
Hello.
So glad to have you back today. Yay.
Thank you so much. Today's been such a hectic day. I was like, will I make it? So I'm so glad I'm here.
I love it. And I love your sweater today. It's so colorful.
Thank you. I when I bought this sweater, they sent me 2 in different colors. I was only meant to buy 1. So I was like, I'll buy 2. So I have this and another color. Thanks.
I love it. And I've seen you in other pictures, like in orange and stuff before. I can't pull off the orange. You, my friend, can pull off the orange all day. I can't do it because I'm so fair that orange just makes me look like I'm trying to direct traffic. Like it's not a good situation.
Oh, bless. I love orange. so I'm glad I can wear them.
Yes, yes, you can take it for the team because you
Yeah,
look beautiful in orange, so that'll be
thank
fine.
you.
What is bringing you joy today, Olivia? Let's start off with that.
Uh, the fact that I'm on the show and I made it to the show, despite the hecticness, I was like, I cannot miss Project Joy. So that's bringing me a lot of joy. And the fact that this is going to be the last Wednesday that I'm going to be 39.
Oh my gosh, you guys, she's inching into 40 land here
Yeah,
as
counting
we do.
down.
Yes, and that's what we're going to talk about today is joy and beauty in aging. And I think this is a great topic because so I'll be 44 in February, so I'm not far ahead. I'm not far ahead. But I also like, I'm also now officially I had gone to the doctors last week, so I'm in perimenopause, which um you know is interesting.
Yeah.
That feels like its own sort of change, and
Mhm.
it is, but it's interesting because I've been sort of reflective about that process of aging and stuff as well. So when you mentioned it, I was like, well, this is great timing because here we are.
Yay.
Yes. So how do you feel as you're like, do you feel that, I'm getting older sort of feeling, or like, how have you been reflecting on the process of aging?
Wow, it's been like all sorts of emotions. So I think
Mm,
in January, I think from last year, after I turned 39 in October, I was just like, okay, I have to get this before I'm 40. Like I had all these like, and then as the months passed, I'm like, this isn't happening. And I was causing
yeah.
myself a lot of unhappiness because I was like, you have to have done this by 40. Like there were just too much pressures. And then I told myself, okay, Olivia, let's make a list of things you really want for yourself, not based on what the world thinks you should have, not based on like what you think people at 40 should have done or been or all that. And so it
Yeah.
was really simple. Like I was like, I want to go for firstborn daughter therapy. I want to make sure I do like a birthday shoot and probably take myself on holiday and buy myself a perfume. Like it was really achievable stuff. And
Yeah.
so I think I started to just lean in more on that. And after I did firstborn daughter therapy, it just opened up a lot of things. And I was like, what do I want to do for myself? And I wanted to do like the music career mentorship program for other artists. And doing that has really put me in like gratitude mode for the last like 2 months because
Yeah.
it made me realize how much I've done as an artist. And I was
Mm,
like, oh my God, I'm so amazing. And so now I'm just in this space where I'm like, I'm probably the most satisfied I've ever been in my life. Like, I'm just happy that I'm alive. I'm grateful for what I've achieved. I don't feel this like I need to achieve this or do this. I just feel like I am where I'm supposed to be. I'm happy with the person that I am. And if that's as good as it gets, I'm good. Like, so
yeah.
that's where I am. But I went through a lot of like back and forth, comparing, pushing, feeling. But I'm so grateful that before my birthday has arrived, I'm in this state of just like, I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that's where I am.
That's such a great place to be in. And it's been interesting for me because I think that I've always with the health issues that I've dealt with from the time that I was very little, I've always physically felt older than I am. Like I've always like not I felt like I couldn't really keep up with the other kids growing up. Like it was always that sort of, it was an interesting feeling. And so when we were in school, we had like the I don't know if any of you guys out there remember this. We would have like the presidential fitness test, and like gym class, you would have to do like so many push-ups or so many pull-ups, and then like you'd have to like climb a rope and like do all of this stuff, and I could never do any of that. Like, and so I always felt really I don't know, just so much older physically. And so I for the longest time, as I would approach benchmark or milestone birthdays, 30 and then 40, I would make these goals for myself that would have to do with health, and it would end up really like letting me down because my like I would be like, I'm going to feel the best I've ever felt. And then something would happen and I didn't. And so I kind of like set myself up for not feeling that great, on my birthday. And so, I've really just said, a couple of years ago, I was just like, I'm going to just enjoy my birthday. How about
Mm.
that? How about I'm just going to enjoy whatever it is on that day and not create this mountain of expectations for what it's supposed to look like for me. Because I've always been a big dreamer. I've always been like thinking of things that probably aren't going to happen. And so I just want to enjoy it, and I have to ask you this though, because a lot of people talk about as they get older, being less afraid to express themselves, and maybe not caring as much about what other people think and things like that. Have you noticed that for yourself yet?
Yes, and I was kind of already like that from a really young age. So now it's been magnified. Like I feel like now, for instance, like when people approach me with things, I'm like, no, no, I don't care. No, it's not what like if it doesn't work for me, I'm like, no. Like I think
Yeah.
I'm more aware of how precious life and time is. And so
Mm,
I don't want to spend any time with people who don't align with me, with projects that don't make sense for me.
yeah.
Like most people are like, let's just move. I'm like, no, I already know my answer. It's no or yes. Like I'm very, yeah. And I think it's also because I'm not that bothered if people like me, don't like
Mm,
me. Like, yes, of course, there's part of me that still wants that, but not as much. Like I'm very self-assured. So yes, I think with age, but sadly not everyone has it, because I've seen like some family members who for them it gets worse. Like they are more
mm,
paranoid, they're more like sad and comparing even more, and like it just regret builds up. And so I think having them in my life made me really deliberate about, I don't want that. Like what can I control and how can I give back the power to myself? And so for
right.
me, so long as I'm happy with the decision, that's all that matters. If I'm not
Yeah.
happy with the decision, now that's when I'm like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
about
I'm still I can I think for me I've experienced both sides of those things. Like I am naturally a very reflective person. Like I've described myself as being very nostalgic before. I reflect a lot on things that have happened. And one of the things I had said to my daughter the other day, a phrase that I had used was, I'm not sorry that I've done certain things, but I apologize for them, if that makes sense. Because like I'm not sorry that I've done certain things in my life, but there is that part of me that's sort of sad that they happened that way, if that, like, and so I get very reflective. And I also um I do really struggle with so I'm working on this. When when you know that you're kind and nice and you've done a good thing, and people will still, there's always going to be somebody that's not enough for, and it doesn't, I would say that it doesn't bother me as much now. I don't dwell in it, but it still is mind boggling for me. I'm still like, how could you take something that's good and just smash it into the ground? I don't understand you people. So I tend to be a little I'm still working on that part. I'm still working on that part, but I don't think I care less. I think I dwell less on it.
that's good.
Yeah,
Yes.
things still hurt. Things are
Yeah.
still, take me to a place sometimes that's not fun for me. But it's how long I choose to sit in it is very short now compared to Jessica, 20 years ago.
I can so relate to that. I love that. It's true. The dwelling is so for me as well. And I feel like I let go of things so much faster, like even things that maybe I hoped to go a different way. Like literally, if I was reaching out to someone like a few years ago, if I reach out to someone, I really wanted to do something with them and they don't respond maybe in the timeline I wanted or it doesn't pan out, like that would affect my day, my week, maybe even my month. But now
Mm,
I'm like, it's a matter of minutes, if not seconds. Like I'm like, okay, it's like just
yeah,
gone. So you're right about the dwelling. Like it's just different, you
yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, like I move through things a lot faster now. It's really like, okay, I'm aware of it, and yeah, that doesn't feel so great, but okay, moving on. Like next.
It's true.
Because I just don't, I like you just, I think one of the things that, it could go either way with how we respond to it is realizing at this point in our lives and beyond how short life is, really. And
Right?
so you can have that thought and feel sad about it, or you can have that thought like, ooh, what do I get to want to go with it is the question.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And I think what's really helped me, and I wonder if it's the same for you, is that when you do something you love, that you have like full control over, like, this is your project, this is your thing, and you decide what works, what doesn't work. I think that really shapes a lot of how we live our years going forward,
Mhm.
because you've experienced what it feels like to have something you desire work out, and you decide, like, you kind of controlled it, not everything, but you had a say, and it's not a future thing. And I think for me, with my
Yeah.
music career, and even have chosen to live my life, because I've had that experience of absolute highs, and like the thing I wanted came true in its way, that I'm now like, okay, it's possible, so why don't I get more of that, rather than staying in regret and I wish and I wonder. So I don't know, do you
Yeah.
feel it's the same for you?
Yeah, yeah, I really try to lean into what I get to do, and also kind of marvel at the beauty of how things turned out rather than how I thought they were going to turn out. Um,
Mm.
which is always interesting. I go back to one of the 90s Garth Brooks songs where he unanswered prayers, where the line is, sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayers. And we've seen that come up a lot recently with some not so fun news about certain celebrities here in the United States. But that thought has come up a lot too. How many of us really wanted something? We wanted to be like a superstar when we were younger. And so many of those children that became superstars when we were younger, they've had really tough lives and things that they should not have had to deal with as children. And so one of Megan McGlover, who I just love her, and she had been on the show a couple years ago, but she came out and said, you better thank your lucky stars that you didn't become a star at that time you thought you were going to, because that could have been your life too. That could have
Right?
been, it could have been any of us. And so there's a lot for me now of less living in regret and more choosing to live in gratitude for how things did turn out. And then like people like yourself, that you came into this, were able to achieve this dream of yours of singing and all of that, later on in your
Hmm.
life. And so every time I see you, it reminds me that it's never too late to do those things that
No.
you want to do.
And I'm so happy that I do that, because that's
Yeah.
something I'm so deliberate about, in terms of, that's why I share my age, because it's easy for people to just assume, okay, you're doing this, so you're probably at this age. That's the assumption, that you must be a specific age to be doing certain things. And specifically in music, and specifically for women, I think
Mm.
that I'm so happy that I do that for you, because I always meet people, and I'm like, if you want to sing, please do it. There was a guy I was talking to last year, and he was turning 30, Jessica, and he said he's too old to do music. And I was like, to
What
what?
are you talking about? What do you mean 30 is
I
too
asked him,
old?
no one looks at a record or hears a record and a song and goes, I wonder what age they are. It's they either like the song or they don't like the song. And he has a home studio, he has everything. I told him, look, if you really want to do this thing, right, you can do it. And I'm telling you, I started it, like, because I started my, like, working on my album, I think when I was 30 or around that age.
Yeah.
So I was like, it is so possible. Like, please do not limit yourself. And so that for me is something that I really am so happy that you're able to see through me, because so many people have put a time, like, limit on their dreams. And I understand that the world sometimes does that, or society, but you can remove that limit, because it
Right.
ultimately your life? Like,
Right.
what do you want for yourself? And I think I would challenge anyone who hears this message, like, what sort of life do you want? What brings you joy? Pursue that. And don't let people tell you need to be realistic, you need to be this. Whatever it is, if it was your dream, there's a reason why it's your dream. Don't spend another day not trying to figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so important. And there's a couple of things I think we could have a whole show about the way people assume things. We really could. Because I cannot tell you how many times when I tell somebody that I have 6 kids, their comment is always, you look too young to have 6 children, Jessica. Like, how could you possibly, like, just and then but there's a trade-off with everything. I mean, no matter what choices we make, there are challenges and there are things that work out no matter what point in our lives we are. The other thing I wanted to mention, because part of, as we're talking about the beauty in aging, there's a couple memes that have gone around on social media that show like how the age of 40 was depicted on television 25 years ago and how the age of 40 is depicted now. I mean, one of the great examples that people give is the show Seinfeld. They were balding on that show at between the ages of 30 and 40. And so, now like it's a very different depiction of what 40 looks like. And so I'm curious what you think about that. Like, do you feel like that does a service to people, or do you feel like that's harmful at all, the way people are depicted? What do you think?
I think it can be both, depending
Yeah.
on who you are and how you receive it. And I think also something that I find like happens a lot here is like policing women specifically on how you're expected to dress at a certain age. And so I think one of the things that also confuses people is because I don't, I guess, dress how people expect someone my age, I guess, is supposed to dress. I'm lucky I'm also creative, so I can like, I don't go to an office often, and
Yeah.
that's I can wear whatever, like whatever
Yeah.
fits my style. But I think that sometimes I think people sometimes feel like I'm a certain age, so I need to act a certain way, I need to talk a
Mm.
certain way, I need to wear certain clothes. And so in terms of the depiction, I think it depends also on the person receiving the message. Um,
Mm.
because I think also there could be that false expectation that you're not allowed to wrinkle, like you shouldn't have
Yeah.
wrinkles, you shouldn't, like if you have those things, then how can you look like that? And everyone ages so differently. And then there's
Right.
a perception, like one person thinks you look 30, another thinks you look 40, another thinks you look 20. Like it's how that individual views the world more than how you really are many times. So I think it's both pro and con. And it just kind of goes to show like it's not long ago that they were depicting people looking like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it could go either way, but I think it just goes back to like you can choose how you want to show up for
Mm.
yourself. And I think it's better to think about being healthy than even necessarily be like, I need to look like this. Because on the other spectrum, there's like people now who are like trying not to age. They're like, I don't want people to know,
Yeah.
like, I need to stay. And I'm like, it's a gift to age. There sadly children who didn't make it past 10
Right.
or even 5. Like, for you to say you reached almost 4 decades of your life is truly a gift. So I think I would focus on that rather than yeah.
100%. It really is a gift to age. And I know I don't want to, to wash it and say that it's every moment is easy. As you get older, your body starts to, as I said the other day, betray you a little bit sometimes and be like, hey, what are you doing? Snap out of it. Like, you know, you get that little snap crackle pop that happens
Oh,
sometimes when you
mm,
wake up in the morning, so it's not always easy by
no.
any means, but it is an immense honor and privilege to be able to age. And I think many of us who have experienced the loss of a young person in our lives, my brother was 24 years old when he passed away.
Mm,
We had this year he would have been 40 as well. And so It's hard. It's hard because you know that you're missing like those little he was engaged when he passed away, so we never like had a wedding, or like there was a lot of those milestones that come up that it makes me sad to think about that we don't get to experience with him. But and so as my life continues, I really have tried to lean heavily into, even on the days that my body hurts so bad, and on the days that, I'm struggling, that it still is a privilege to be able to, to get older, because
Yeah.
it's not afforded to everybody.
No, yeah, and I love that. I'm so sorry about your brother, but I feel he would be he's an 84 baby. That would make him an 84 baby.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and I think those things really like make you think, because I think also losing my auntie last year was just
Mm,
at the time you just go, oh my goodness, like it's very sobering, but it also can give you life at the same time,
yeah.
where you what am I going to do, with my life, with the time that I'm given, with
Mm,
whatever circumstances I have. And so, yeah. And I think also, as well, what it's made me very aware of is, especially like in the artist realm, a lot of times when you're applying for like opportunities, they cut it off at 35, like, you know,
mm,
the youth age. And so there's certain things, like say for instance you just didn't happen to access it by then, you won't have access to. So even whenever I'm doing projects or things, I'm very aware of that. I'm like, there's not going to be any of that. If anything, I'm like, I want to give people who are maybe a bit older an opportunity, because sometimes that's just when your dream manifests.
right.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's things have aligned for you. And so and specifically for women in music, it's a big thing. Like I've sat
Yeah.
in meetings where label owners are like, how old are you? And then the minute they hear my age, they're like, like
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
one of those. But I always say, then you're just not aligned to be with me. And that's the beauty of meeting some of them when you're older. It's like you're not pressed to be like, I have to have you. Like I'm like, it's fine. Like if we
Yeah.
don't work and you can't see past that limiting belief you have, it's okay.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And it's easy to slip into that. I think without knowing someone's situation. In my case, I had children very young. I mean, my now I will next year I can't believe I'm even saying this, but 3 out of 6 of my children will be adults next year. like I'm just I'm having a meltdown over here. Someone please start a GoFundMe and send help. Okay. So but yeah, like 3, so I'm in that sort of realization, and so I had children very young, but now I feel like I'm still fairly young at 44, and so now is my turn. Now is my turn. I get to, do those things that, and it's not to say that you can't have both. You can't do things at the same time, but I've really tried hard to focus on, my family, and that's the choice that I made to make a priority. And so now I get to play, and now I get to have a little more. I'm going to concerts, and I'm going out and doing more than I did when I was younger. I wish my body was what it was when I was younger, but I still get to go out and do those things now. And so it's easy to make assumptions with people and be like, oh well, why are you just coming into this stuff at this age? But so some of us made different choices when we were younger, and we prioritize whatever we do in the moment. It doesn't,
Yes, it's very true. And I think
yeah.
also as well, like sometimes I really feel like sometimes certain dreams just are like, no, it's not for now. Like
Yeah.
maybe there are different things that need to align so that it makes sense. And in the time you may not feel it because you're like, I wish, because you're comparing based on what they say is like, this is what's supposed to happen. But no one
Right.
has like where our lives are so unique, so I think that's true. Like it's important. And I think also I've learned to try and not also project on other people and be like,
Mm,
why don't they, like, haven't done this, how can they not know this, like, because I would hate it if someone did that to me. So
yeah.
I'm more like, you know what, if you figure it out now, great. If you don't want to figure it out, and I think that's really helped with like not dwelling, is I'm radically accepting people. I'm like, this is your pattern and behavior, okay, I won't expect you to change. I won't expect you to be different, because I used to. I'd be like, why can't they just do this? But now I'm
Yeah.
just like, that's how the person is. That's what they've
Yep.
chosen. I'll accept you, and then I'll move accordingly, rather than being like, if only they could. I'm like, I don't know about the if only. I only know about the now.
That's it. And it goes back to when Brittany was on the show. Last time we talked about the joy in minding your own business, and there it really is.
There is a lot of joy in that, please, guys. That's joy in it.
That is the epitome of joy, minding your own business. Worry about your own age and your own hormones and your own all of that. Worry about yourself. That's what you need to do. I want to say hi really quick to Diana here this morning. Miss Mandy is here this morning. Good to see you guys today. And Nancy said, I just remembered when I was a child hearing when women pass 40, it is in poor taste to have long hair. And Cher was the biggest rule breaker. Yeah. Yeah, you're not supposed to
Wow.
have long hair at a certain point. Well, they're going to have to shave it right off my head because it's not coming off. I always had long hair. Love it. I celebrate coming down from a chair without cracking knees or hips nowadays. That's it. There's Miss Christie this morning. Good morning. I love this conversation. In the moment is the best moment. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a quick break, guys, and we're going to come back and we're going to do birthdays. And I have a little thing that I wrote specifically about aging that I will share at the end. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
On April 4th, I was 90 years old, grandson of slaves. My parents were first generation free. A long time ago, I embraced the definition of love. Love is the experience of well-being. And a friend is one who mutually shares that experience of well-being with you, which opens up almost infinite creative possibilities.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. Please visit thefriendshipparadox.com and sign up for notifications about our documentary that's coming out in November. I'm still getting caught up. I'm almost there. I'm almost there, you guys. I got so behind. Told you guys the story about how I had to get my old computer could not handle the workload of the film. I had to buy a whole new computer. Like I'm so stressed out over, but it's coming together. I'm almost done. Really excited about that coming out in November. We're here today with Olivia Ambani. We've been talking about the joy and beauty in aging. And one of the ways that we can celebrate aging is with birthdays. So let's do that.
Happy birthday to you.
All right. So in the world of celebrity, Will Smith is 56 years old today. Happy birthday, Will Smith. I just became familiar with this R&B singer, Teddy Swims. Do you know who Teddy Swims is, Olivia?
Is he what's it called? Ginger? Does he have ginger hair?
I think maybe, yeah. I pay that much attention. He was singing on the Video Music Awards. What was it, last week or before? He was singing on there. He really is fantastic. Teddy Swims. He's 32 years old today. Actor Mark Hamill, that is played Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars film, is 73 years old today.
Wow.
Christopher Reeves, who passed away in 2004, you know him as Superman, had a birthday. Catherine Zeta-Jones is 55 years old today. Scottie Pippen, that used to play on the Chicago Bulls around the time that Michael Jordan did, 59 years old today. And actor Michael Douglas is 80 years old today, everybody.
Wow.
Happy birthday to all those in the celebrity world. In the celebrities in my life, Haley May has a birthday today, as well as Jennifer Stroud. Happy birthday. And tomorrow, Josh Michalski. I wish I had that picture here in front of me. I do not. Where is it? Oh, it might be in this box. Let me sort through this box while we're sitting here talking. But my homecoming, my freshman homecoming date, Josh Michalski has a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Josh. And one of my childhood friends, Tiffany Tabor, has a birthday tomorrow. And Tiffany was the one. Remember telling the story about how in my granny's basement there was like the thing hanging, and we used to pretend like we were Oprah and like making a talk show and all of that. Tiffany was the one that used to come across and play with me during that time. So happy birthday to Tiffany. And then tomorrow is also my second oldest child's 19th birthday. Sky's birthday is tomorrow. So happy birthday, Sky. And of course, Olivia's not going to be here on the 1st, and her birthday is October 1st. So we're going to go ahead and sing to Olivia today. Because she's here with us. Yes. Do you have any birthdays that you're celebrating today, Olivia?
Not today, but on Friday, my cousin DJ Vitza, it's her birthday, and then my niece Zuri, it's her birthday on Saturday. So it's a packed few days of birthdays.
Very nice. So we have Zui, and then who was the other one?
So Zuri with an R, Zuri, and then there's Vitza.
I try so hard. I'm gonna say Olivia's cousin.
Yes, that
and
Olivia's
niece. Yeah, there we go. Because I tried so hard. Okay. All right. So we got our birthdays to, I don't know where I have my other picture hanging up. Okay, let me grab that one. I don't have the one of both of us, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab this one. Okay, here's freshman homecoming, everybody. Do y'all see this?
Lovely.
little baby Jessica. Okay. I'm apparently showing all the baby Jessica pictures today. We're not doing that anymore. All right, so let's get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Haley, Jennifer, Will, Teddy, Mark, Christopher, Catherine, Scotty, Michael, Josh, Sky, Tiffany, Olivia's cousin and niece, and everyone. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. We hope you have an amazing day. Make it an amazing month. And look at Olivia, you get to celebrate September and October.
Right? That's it.
That's it. Brittany said she loves some Teddy Swims. I did not become aware of him until recently. Well, I say that, but that doesn't mean I hadn't heard him. It just means I didn't remember what his name was in my head is what that means. So we have on the Breakthrough Show Network this week, we have virtual co-working happening at 12:50 p.m. Eastern time today. We also have it coming up on Friday at our normal 9:55 a.m. hour Eastern time. And we have coffee on Saturday. I'll be back with Project Joy on Friday, and that's what we have going on the rest of the week. Anything exciting you have going on, Olivia?
Well, there is this show called The Hang, and they're gonna play not oldies, like 2000 music and whatever. So I'm excited to go for that concert to just enjoy as an audience member. Yeah. And so that's what I'm looking for. Oh, and I'm teaching creatives about money tomorrow. So 2 things I'm looking forward to.
That's that's always a fun topic to put together. Getting creatives in a room who are, or even spiritual people, like that are just concerned with changing the world, like money is usually the farthest thing from their minds, and to try to bring that in, I'd tip my hat to you for taking that on, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I love it. Oh, also, I was going to mention today is also National One Hit Wonder Day, and so I was thinking about the artists that will come out with like one song that we know, and then the rest of them maybe we don't know as much. Do you have any? Is there any one hit wonders that you can think of that you really enjoy? I always think of "Don't Worry, Be Happy" by Bobby McFerrin.
Ah, yeah. Wonders. There's a song da 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 da.
Oh, Rick Astley. Well, and see that the one that you're the together. So to see, I love some Rick Astley. So that's part of my, I guess that's maybe my toxic trait. I don't know. I like Together Forever, and I like Never Gonna Give You Up. You have that one. One song.
Give you up, never gonna tie down.
Yep, there it is. There it is. We got some Rick Astley. I love it. I love it. I love Bobby McFerrin though. Don't Worry, Be Happy. And I'm trying to think of like, it's always interesting though, because I always tend to be, someone who I always enjoyed growing up listening to the full album. So I might have known songs that other people like didn't necessarily know. So there's a couple things that people will come out with that they're like, oh, this was a one hit wonder, and I can tell you all the songs. Like I loved all of them. So maybe they weren't a one hit wonder to me. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe it's just the most popular song. So then that's how they go in the one hit wonder like category, when they're really not. They had a success career. The most popular song is what we know. Yeah,
I mean, I guess that we would have to ask the question, like, what constitutes a hit? Like, is it a certain amount of records sold? Is it just that, it's the one that everybody remembers? I don't know. That could be a whole nother rabbit hole conversation.
True.
For sure. For sure. Okay, so I have one little thing that I wrote that we're going to close out today's episode with. I want to take a moment and reflect on the joy and beauty of aging that we talked about together here today. Aging is often framed as something to fear, something that takes away from who we are. But if we pause and lean into it, we realize that aging is a profound gift, a journey that brings wisdom, strength, and a deeper understanding of who we are at our core. Think about it. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every experience is a badge of honor, a testament to the life we've lived and the lessons we've learned. The beauty of aging lies not in holding on to youth, but in embracing the richness that each year brings. We become more authentic, more grounded, more aligned with our true selves. We shed the masks we once wore to fit in, and instead we stand proudly in our truth. There is joy in this journey of growing older because we are constantly evolving. Whether it's perimenopause, 40th birthdays, 50th birthdays, these are milestones that invite us to step into our power, to own who we are, to let go of what no longer serves us, and embrace the wisdom that comes with time. As we grow older, we become the women we needed when we were younger. We become the mentors, the nurturers, the fierce protectors of our own well-being. This is something to celebrate. Aging is not about decline. It's about becoming more of who we were always meant to be. So today, Olivia and I encourage you to embrace the changes that come with each year, to lean into the beauty of where you are in your journey, and to find joy in every new chapter. The world needs you, your stories, your wisdom, your presence. There is so much joy in becoming more fully yourself with each passing year. Thank you guys for joining us today. And here's to embracing the beauty and joy of aging with our hearts open and joyful spirits. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. This is Olivia Ambani, and we will see you again next time on Project Joy Live. Make joy a priority in your life today and every day. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I've been lifting myself up, yeah, I've been climbing.